Hello there, Zion again. Today I'll be talking about the last of my starter Pokemon, the water types. Out of all the starter Pokemon Game Freak has made, it is consistently the water types that wind up being some of my favorites. So I'll admit it was hard not to make one that adhered to just my preferences. But in the end, I finally got a design that I felt could fill the niche of more than just Pokemon fans and, well, Canadians. You'll see what I mean. Now, sometimes when designing something, it's either the story or the design that comes first, and often when doing redesigns, one of these things changes. In today's case, it's the latter that changes, unsurprisingly. When I had designed the water starters, I had come up with their story and general theme after I had finalized an initial design, so they didn't entirely line up. The story described a hard-working, tough bravado, and the design seemed to fall short of it. So in today's video, I'll be going through my process of making these designs line up better with their descriptions, overall themes, and target thematic. Firstly, we have Beabble, a baby beaver. This little guy was pretty straightforward and didn't have much going for it other than being the friendly, energetic one of the trio next to the anxious Seedier and the plucky Pakandle. His first design looked like it was friendly, but didn't do too much to determine whether it was laid back or energetic at all. Although it did give off the childlike vibe I was going for with its rain poncho styled fur and big head. Now, in truth, Beagle and its evolutions were the first of the starters I had redesigned, and surprisingly, Beagle itself was by far the one design that held out the most. So much so that I've kept its redesign as its finalized design until making this video. But, to bring its design a little more up to date, I gave it one more do-over to slightly adjust its proportions and fine-tune the shading of its natural browns and deep blues to help soften its bright colors. Beagle, the paddle Pokemon. Beagle are very crafty, building sturdy bridges and dams that are used by other Pokemon to cross bodies of water. When Beagle feel threatened, they make large waves by slapping their tails on the water, washing threats away in a large torrent. Canodens is the second stage, and its initial concept was a little awkward, admittedly. Its bent posture and large tail was dynamic and interesting, but I feel it didn't do well to communicate its territorial and punkish nature. My first redesign aimed to change that by giving it a tougher stance that helped to communicate its demeanor better. But this take was slightly more awkward and didn't communicate the sailor motif I was going for that well, especially with the mohawk thing it had on its head that it still had in its previous rendition. The last take I did had the goal to make it seem tougher and more militaristic, a thicker body and more balanced proportions that make it seem more tense and powerful. I lowered its tail to divert the focus on it to be more on Canodens instead. Canodens, the paddle Pokemon. Canodens are very territorial, making waves with their tails that are strong enough to topple most boats that enter their territory. A Canodens' dam is as tough as concrete, packed densely with materials using their powerful tails. Canodens will form gangs to take over lakes and rivers fiercely. Castoraft was designed with the goal of making it seem tense and stern. Its first design was iconic, and I honestly liked it quite a bit. But as time went on and I grew in my artistry, I felt I needed to change its round body and massive tail that just took up a bit too much space. Its first rendition was good, taking on the traits of a seafaring captain well, but I just felt there was something missing. I didn't communicate its dark typing well and felt a little too thin compared to its previous rendition and stats. So, my most recent design aimed to adjust it a bit by making it a little thicker and adjusting its face. I also gave it a tuft of fur on its head to make it seem more like a captain and even more menacing. Castoraft, the captain Pokemon. Despite their imposing nature, Castoraft are kind-hearted, taking care of their inferiors all while leading them with an iron fist. The waves made by the powerful tail slaps of the Castoraft are stronger than an explosion, capable of shattering concrete. Castoraft will help Pokemon stranded in the water to shore. So, yeah, that's it for Beabble, Canodens, and Castoraft, and the starter Pokemon in my dream region. It's been a fun process of designing these emblems in my region, and I look forward to revealing more of my Fakemon designs in future videos. Before I go, be sure to let me know which of the 3 starters you would pick to join you on your journey. Seedier, Picandle, or Beeble. Hope you enjoyed this series so far, and I'll see you in the next video.